ESPN recently put out a list of trade candidates, and the Eagles got two players on that list. Plus, when it comes to free agency, we've been talking about who we want to go sign, and that's cool. But we also got to talk about who are we going to re-sign in-house and who we going to let go.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today, we got a lot to talk about. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, help your boy out and hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new, and ding that notification bell so you know when these videos drop.
Keep that roots going, baby!
One, two, three, roots! So let's start with ESPN's list. Two players make ESPN's list of trade candidates. That is Andre Dillard and Gardner Minshew. And both of these, I believe, really should make the list. I agree. They both can be traded, and it might be in the Eagles' best interest to actually make a trade, right? Depending on what we can get. Gardner Minshew costed us a 6th-round pick. Now, what if an NFL team gets in a sticky situation? We saw Sam Bradford, and I know he's not Sam Bradford, but by the time we got rid of Sam Bradford, he was a shell of himself, and we got a 1st-round pick. If you could flip Gardner Minshew for a 3rd, 4th, a 2nd, some crazy scenario, go ahead and do it. He came in for the Eagles while we played the Jets and played up to par. Teams know what he did in Jacksonville, right? He has a decent resume, and he cost $2.5 million through 2022. Think about the backups in the NFL. Marcus Mariota was making close to $9 million. Cam Newton was a backup for Mac Jones that was making bread. Like, there's backups out there that make a lot of money, and if you can get Gardner Minshew as a bridge quarterback, a quarterback to push the starter, or a guy who comes in for injury because you lose a starter for only 4 or 5 weeks, and Gardner Minshew can keep you afloat for 4 to 5 weeks until a Derek Carr or a Matthew Stafford or one of these good quarterbacks come back, right? He could be a legit trade piece for a lot of scenarios. And $2.5 million as your starter, as your bench piece is perfect. Now, Andre Dillard is the other candidate, and he makes a lot of sense just because if you look at the NFL landscape, all 32 teams, let's go left guard and left tackle. There's not 32 left tackles and 32 left guards that are better than Andre Dillard. There's a handful of teams that he could start on, that if he went to that team, he'd be the best left tackle or the best left guard, best player at the left side, right? It's as simple as that. Carolina could use his services. Cincinnati could use his services. The Colts could have used his services last year, right? He's not better than Jordan Mailata, Isaac Seumalo, and it hasn't worked out in Philly. But he's a legit piece that you can move, especially if a contender loses somebody, right? Training camp, off season, week 1 through 6. He is a legit piece. Now, if he's here, he's going to be treated as the swing tackle. But Andre Dillard is another one who has a contract for 2 more years, and he only cost a combined $3.8 million. That's why these guys are great candidates. You got $2.5 million for a starting quarterback or a fringe starting quarterback if you need it, a high-quality backup, or a quarterback to start some games, I should say, for you. And same with Andre Dillard, $3.8 for 2 years, whether he starts or backs you up. That's a quality you can't get around the NFL. Offensive line depth is important. And I'm telling you, a handful of teams don't got a better left player, whether it's guard or tackle, than Andre Dillard. We just so happily do. So that's why I agree with the ESPN list. Now, we could talk about Fletcher Cox possibly being traded. Does it help the Eagles? Does it hurt it? Should we move on for Jalen Reagor? Do we have any suitors out there? But ESPN don't see them as the realistic, beneficial for both sides. We could talk about it as the time comes because I'm all for trading Jalen Rager. You know that for sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on these two. And is there any Eagle that you think should or could be traded that it would work out? Let me know in the comment section. Now, I want to just talk about this before we get to the free agents. And this is before we get to our free agents. This is a wide receiver who is going to hit free agency that nobody's talking about, right? A lot of people talk about if we do get a slot corner or slot receiver, Christian Kirk, and he's pretty good. The people that commented under my wide receivers video, I ain't opposed to that. And I honestly will say no to this guy simply because he's a Dallas Cowboy. But Cedric Wilson is hitting free agency, and I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. Maybe they let Gallup go and they re-sign Cedric Wilson. But this is a guy who was the 4th receiver in Dallas, a 6th-round draft pick. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he finished 2021 season with 602 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he can find the end zone. He was their 4th guy and somehow got 600 yards. And where does he primarily work? In the slot. So if you believe in Quez Watkins being that outside guy as well as Devontae Smith, or you think we're going to draft a Treylon Burke, a London Drake, a 6'3" body who can be on the outside, then Cedric Wilson fits beautifully in the slot. He also plays outside with his 6'2" body frame, 200 pounds. He can play inside and outside, but he gets busy from the slot. Now, again, someone brought this up to me, and I had to talk about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Him being a Cowboy, I almost say I don't care because I've seen it time and time and time and time again. No matter how good they are with the Cowboys, they screw us over. Last but not least, let's talk about our free agents, right? We talk about who we want to go sign. Oh, let's go get a safety. Bates, Williams, right? Tyrann Matthews out there. Let's go get a defensive end. Reddick. The dude from the Bills. Let's go get a wide receiver. We named the ball. I just talked about one. But let's talk about our guys. Let me know in the comment section who you would bring back. And depending on the deal or whatnot, let's start with Jason Kelce. One more year. Get it done. It just needs to be done. It needs to be done no matter what we do in the draft. You need to get Jason Kelce back for one more year. He's still playing at an elite level. You have to get it done. Ronnie McLeod. This one's tough. If he doesn't sign a team-friendly deal for 1 year, you might have to let him walk. I need a team-friendly deal for 1 year, or you might got to let him walk. Anthony Harris, I think you got to let walk. Then you got to let him walk. You got to get one of them back just for depth and just for GP, right? We could sign some safeties. Again, what do we do? Is Marcus Williams on the deal? I mean, on the table. If you can get a free agent safety and draft a safety, you might be able to let Ronnie McLeod and Anthony Harris go. If you don't, you need to bring one back, and I'll take McLeod over Harris. But it got to be a team-friendly deal. Derek Barnett, bye. Gotta go. It is what it is. You just got to go. Potential there. I still think he might be able to do something with another team. Injuries have been a problem. Attitude, boneheaded plays. I'm letting him go. Steven Nelson. He was talking about getting $8 million throughout the whole offseason, $6 million, $8 million. If he signs another team-friendly deal, I'll take him for a 1 or 2 year deal. He didn't get cooked as much as people make it out to be. He actually played man coverage more sometimes than Darius Slay. That's Jonathan Gannon's doing. He only cost $3 million last year. So he got decent production for $3 million. And if he takes another team-friendly deal, I would do it. Do I still want to draft a corner? If Sauce Gardner, Ahmad Gardner's there, do it. Kobe Bryant in the later rounds. The guy from Florida State, Booth from Clemson, right? There's corners that I want to see drafted late first round, early second round. But you can still have them work under Steven Nelson. It's a passing league, and you can never go wrong with having too many cornerbacks. There's no such thing. You play against the Chiefs, they're going to spread you out five wide. You gotta be deep there. One injury, Luckily, we were healthy last year, but an injury or two to our secondary? Oh my goodness. Ryan Kerrigan, get out of here. Hassan Ridgeway, if you take that cheap deal, I'm willing to do it. But depending who we bring in draft wise, he might got to go. Boston Scott, restricted free agent, cheap. I'll do it. Alex Singleton, restricted free agent. I need to bring linebacker. We need to get linebackers in here, right? When it comes to the draft, we know Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd could be staring at us right there. But if you had to ask me, Jannard Avery, Alex Singleton, I would sign one of them back just for a depth piece. A depth piece, knowing that if our rookie linebacker goes down or our free agent linebacker goes down, you have something that you're familiar with. He's not good. He can't be a starter no more. But I'd probably take Alex Singleton over Jannard Avery. Greg Ward Jr., it might be time to let that go. I think he got sure hands, but for some reason, we don't give him an opportunity, right? Jalen Reagor somehow is just out there getting snaps. It might be time to just say bye to Greg Ward and start cutting bait with our low-tier wide receivers. I love Greg Ward, and I think he's better than JJ and better than Jalen Reagor when you're talking about production. But it might be time. Jason Kroom, out. Jannard Avery, out. Nate Herbig, restricted free agent. Love it, right? Him as your swing guard is the perfect scenario. If he's starting, maybe. But if he's your swing, that is beautiful. And he did offer a lot of upside when he started for Brandon Brooks, who we know retired. Now, again, things could change, and the restricted free agents, like Greg Ward is one of them that I said let go. If you're getting him at the vet minimum, you might keep him because, like I said, unless we draft or sign free wide receivers, I don't know what to tell you because it goes Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and a bunch of no names. It goes Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and a bunch of no names. So unless you're telling me we're going to draft and sign receivers, you might have to find a way to just cheaply get Greg Ward Jr. on the roster. These are my thoughts. This is my initial thought. As it gets closer to when we are going to sign or let these guys go, I'll do a deeper dive, see what these guys are really wanting. 2-year deal, 3-year deal, 1-year deal, cheap, expensive, and then we'll probably do a live stream. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section, Eagle Nation. Y'all know what y'all talking about. Until next time, we out.